Time now for my review of the Red Dead Redemption port, now available digitally for PlayStation 4, PS5, as well as the Nintendo Switch. Physical versions will be coming out October 13th. The port was done by Double 11. As usual with my reviews, we're going to go over the pros, the cons, as well as the final verdicts. For side-by-side comparisons of the PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch versions of Red Dead Redemption port, feel free and check out Digital Foundry's channel. They did an amazing job showing you the comparisons between what Red Dead Redemption port looks like on the PS4, PS5, as well as Nintendo Switch, compared to the PS3 as well as Xbox 360, Xbox One, and of course Xbox Series versions of Red Dead Redemption. Now let's saddle up and talk about the pros. There are no major bugs, glitches, or game-breaking crashes in the Red Dead Redemption port, at least from what I experienced. Of course, the game is far from perfect. You will see bugs and glitches here and there, just like with the original version of the game, but nothing that's going to completely destroy and ruin your experience of Red Dead Redemption. Which is fantastic news because the Red Dead Redemption port is not another GTA Trilogy Defective Edition disaster. From my experience playing the PS4 port on my PlayStation 5, it ran and looked about the same for Red Dead Redemption over on my Xbox Series X. I know there's some subtle differences between the Xbox Series X and PS5 versions of Red Dead Redemption, but for the most part, I feel like both versions of this game look great on the PS5 as well as the Xbox Series X. Another pro, Red Dead Redemption is now available across more platforms on PlayStation 4, PS5, as well as the Nintendo Switch. Before that, the only way you could play Red Dead Redemption was either via Xbox backwards compatibility, 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series, or if you still happen to have a PS3, or recently, as Digital Foundry talked about in a video, you could emulate it on PC with a physical copy of the 360. And a lot of people consider that to be the best version of Red Dead Redemption because you can actually get the FPS up to 60 and higher, but you need a really good PC and, once again, a physical copy of the 360 version of Red Dead Redemption. But now players do have access to Red Dead Redemption via PS4, PS5, as well as the Switch. There are some options that come with the port for Red Dead Redemption, including anti-aliasing. I would recommend setting it on AMD FSR2, but there's also FXAA. And as you can tell, there's brightness, contrast, saturation, motion blur, kill effect, subtitles, the ability to scale the subtitles, objective scale, help text, show map, waypoint. Yeah, there's quite a few options. Not as many as I would like, but some is better than none. Plus, there's also audio options, configuration, target mode, invert cameras, horse control, vibration, sensitivity, southpaw, as well as the ability to turn on and on the golden guns. It's basically just a cosmetic. It was one of those features that you could acquire depending on which version of Red Dead Redemption you bought many years ago. But it is kind of cool to run around with golden guns as opposed to the normal looking version of those guns. Once again, simply cosmetic. There's also cheats. In order to get the cheats, you have to purchase the newspapers throughout Red Dead Redemption, so be sure and drop $1 here and there every time a new edition of the newspaper becomes available if you're interested in doing cheats after you beat the main story. Another feature I really like is the fact that they have included hardcore. So if you play through the game on normal and then you want a little bit more of a challenge on your second or a future playthrough, then why not give hardcore a try? Yeah, it's a bit more challenging, but if you manage to beat the game on hardcore, it's also very rewarding. Now we're going to go over pre-existing pros that came with the game when it officially launched back in 2010 with the Xbox 360, PS3, available now obviously through the port. As I mentioned already, the main story of Red Dead Redemption 2, where you follow John Marston, who has been drafted by feds in order to go after former members of the Vanderlyn gang in order to get his family back. Along with the main story, there's also side quests, stranger encounters, random dynamics, gang hideouts you can clear out, night watch jobs, duels, bounty hunting with the wanted posters, hunting animals, so you can hunt, skin animals in order to sell their parts, as well as for challenges. Several different types of stores to buy and sell items. The general store, gunsmiths, doctors, tailors. A variety of activities and mini games like poker, blackjack, liar's dice, horseshoes, arm wrestling, the movie house, five-finger fillet. Different ways to travel around the world of Red Dead Redemption via foot, horse, train, stagecoach, campsite, and you also have the ability to get even better horses by breaking in wild horses and getting their deeds. Just be sure once you acquire a horse, once you break it in, to take it to the nearest hitching post in order to save that horse. Another pro is the world of Red Dead Redemption itself, which includes New Austin, along with Nuevo Paraíso down in Mexico, and finally West Elizabeth, which is the Great Plains, as well as tall trees. Throughout the world of Red Dead Redemption, you will notice a variety of safe houses in various towns and cities that you will be able to either purchase or rent for changing outfits, as well as saving the game and skipping time. When it comes to the weapons, for the most part, you will be able to acquire these weapons without having to purchase them, but there are a few exceptions. I believe the buffalo rifle and explosive rifle, you actually have to buy those. But the weapons include, of course, melee, which is fisticuffs, as well as your knife, pistols, along with a variety of revolvers that you can eventually get, along with throwables like throwing knives, fire bottles, dynamite, tomahawks. You end up getting a lasso early on in the game. There's a couple of sniper rifles, several repeaters and rifles that you can get, along with shotguns, plus obviously Deadeye. If you like using Deadeye in the game, then you will eventually upgrade your Deadeye abilities naturally by progressing through the main story of Red Dead Redemption, or you can just simply just shoot without using Deadeye. But Deadeye is a lot of fun. Along with weapons, there's also a variety of outfits that you can eventually unlock and discover by doing a variety of different things in the game. So depending on what outfit you want to go after, you simply just have to, once you discover the outfit, it will give you a list of things you have to go accomplish in order to get said outfit. And there are outfits that have unique abilities once you unlock them. As you play through Red Dead Redemption, there's also challenges you can work your way on, improving variety like hunting, survival, etc. There's also horse buggy races, treasure hunting for gold bars, and more. You have a variety of consumables you can eventually get your hands on, including different horse deeds. Of course, that costs money. The cool thing is, not only do you get the golden guns, you also start off the game with the Warhorse, which is one of the rare 3-star horses. So you start off the Red Dead Redemption port pretty solid with the Warhorse, and you could just keep that horse from the beginning to the end of the game if you have no interest in acquiring any of the other horses. You start off with a standard campsite, but you can buy an improved campsite, which offers a bit more benefits. You can get treasure maps, pardon letters if you decide to be dishonorable and commit lots of crimes and kill lots of innocent people and lawmen. Instead of having to pay for your name to be cleared, you can just put pardon letters out there and get your bounty lifted instead of having to pay. Not only do newspapers allow you to get cheats, but they also have interesting stories in the world of Red Dead Redemption as you progress through the game. Buying bandoliers improves the ammo capacity. The rabbit's foot will increase items and money you loot by 20%, and you definitely want to loot in this game for money as well as ammo. If you decide to play through the game dishonorably, you definitely want to consider purchasing the bandana, because it will hide your identity so honor and fame won't change. Remove it to decrease your wanted level faster. And that's really the fun part about playing Red Dead Redemption when it comes to some freedom of choice. The story pretty much stays the same, but you can play through it honorably or dishonorably. And the world will react to you depending on how you play it. If your fame is up, if your honor is high, you will get discounts at shops. If your honor is very low, you can unlock the Dark Horse. In other words, there's pros and cons to the honor-dishonor system, depending on whether or not you want your character to be a white hat or a black hat. Another pro worth mentioning is the amazing game sound, as well as audio, and the beautiful score by Woody Jackson. He came back to also do the score for Red Dead Redemption 2, but I absolutely love the score for Red Dead Redemption. It is beautiful. And some final pros real quick before we move on to the cons. This game obviously has a great story, as well as one of my favorite protagonists in video games, John Marston. I know some people like Arthur Morgan more, and I do love Arthur Morgan, but since I've been playing Red Dead Redemption since the first game, I gotta put John Marston just a little bit above Arthur Morgan when it comes to my personal favorite protagonists. There's interesting characters you come across throughout the game, a beautiful world that still holds up 13 years later to explore, and it's set in the final days of the American Wild West. Alright, let's mosey over to the cons, shall we? I feel like, despite everything I mentioned in the pros regarding this port being decent, not a complete disaster, and everything that Red Dead Redemption's story offers you, this game is still not worth $50. It's too high of a price point, but that is not Double Eleven's fault. You have to take that blame all the way up to the top of Take-Two with CEO Strauss Zelnick. Even with Undead Nightmare, I feel like $50 is a bit too high. One of the main reasons is because multiplayer was gutted out of this port, and multiplayer was an important part of the original version of Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare. And there's still a community revolved around Red Dead Redemption multiplayer over on Xbox. It is a shame that it's not included on the PS4, PS5, or Nintendo Switch ports. And another reason why the price should be lower. Along with the fact that there is no 60 FPS upgrade for Red Dead Redemption. And yes, it can go up to 60 FPS. It's been proven via the emulators on PC. In fact, there's an emulator for the Nintendo Switch, which bumps it up to 60 FPS. So if it can go up to 60 FPS on the Switch, it can go up to 60 FPS on the PS4, PS4 Pro, and definitely on the PS5. Bare minimum effort by Rockstar and Take-Two. Once again, I am not throwing shade at Double Eleven for what they were hired to do. They did a decent job with the port. But I feel like there's a lot more that could have been done with Red Dead Redemption, because this game is far from perfect. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But to be honest, the controls are a bit clunky here and there when it comes to the horses, as well as riding around in wagons, buggies. Free aim shooting could be a bit smoother, and there's quite a few other things that could have been improved with this port. But once again, I feel like Rockstar and Take-Two are to take most of the blame, because they didn't exactly ask Double Eleven to remaster this game. They just wanted a simple port, which is something that Strauss Zelnick was against just a few years ago. And the final con is the lack of Red Dead Redemption 2 Easter eggs in Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, I realize Red Dead Redemption was made and came out before Red Dead Redemption 2, but there could have been some Easter eggs like sprinkled in to the port of Red Dead Redemption. Like, for example, maybe Arthur Morgan's hat on display somewhere inside Beecher's Hope, or the ability to unlock and acquire Arthur Morgan's outfit and hat in Red Dead Redemption 1. That would have been cool. I wasn't expecting them to shell out like a lot of money to hire back the voice actors and have some new dialogue mentioning Arthur and Hosea and some of the characters from Red Dead Redemption 2 that are not in Red Dead Redemption 1. But there could have been some Arthur Morgan Red Dead Redemption 2 Easter eggs sprinkled in to this port of Red Dead Redemption. But once again, it's just the bare minimum by Rockstar and Take-Two in order to just get this simple port out, in order to try and make as much money as possible with as little money spent. And in the famous words of Columbo, just one more con, Rockstar. PC port. Where is it? Fans have been asking for well over a decade since the original version of this game came out for the 360 and PS3, yet still no official version of the PC port for Red Dead Redemption. Maybe Double 11 is actually working on that as well, and it'll come out in the future. However, if Rockstar has no desire to come out with a PC port of Red Dead Redemption 13 plus years later, great news, it can be emulated via a physical copy of the 360, and once again, as long as you have a decent PC. So at least PC players can finally play Red Dead Redemption, and as an added bonus, they can bump up the FPS to 60, which unfortunately is something we currently can't do on the Xbox Series or PS5. Now that we've gone over the pros and the cons, let's ride off into the sunset and talk about my final verdict. Despite the fact that I have enjoyed playing through the Red Dead Redemption port, and I'm glad that it's available now for players that either A, never got a chance to play Red Dead Redemption, maybe they came in with Red Dead Redemption 2, but they never had like an Xbox 360 or a PS3 or an Xbox One or Xbox Series, and they've never emulated it on PC, but they've always wanted to play Red Dead Redemption, or it's an old player that's wanted to come back to Red Dead Redemption after all these years. I'm glad it's available on PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. However, once again, I feel like the price point is too high, even with the inclusion of Undead Nightmare. And I really think that Rockstar and Take-Two should have done way more with such a phenomenal game. After Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, a lot of us played through that game and imagined post Red Dead Redemption 2 what a remake of Red Dead Redemption 1 could look like with the same game engine as Red Dead Redemption 2, because most of the world of Red Dead Redemption 1 already exists in the map of Red Dead Redemption 2, such as parts of the Great Plains with tall trees. You know, that makes up half of West Elizabeth. I know there's more to West Elizabeth now thanks to Red Dead Redemption 2, but all of New Austin is there in Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online, as well as Nuevo Paraiso. It's pretty obvious that Rockstar had plans for Nuevo Paraiso, Mexico in either Red Dead Redemption 2 or Red Dead Online, because you can glitch across the river in Red Dead Online and explore Nuevo Paraiso, the unfinished version of it. But for the life of me, I don't understand why they simply didn't just take what they had already built with Red Dead Redemption 2 and use, part of it for a remake to Red Dead Redemption 1. They already had the voice lines and the audio. Sadly, some of those voice actors did pass away, including Hagen, who played Landon Ricketts. But they simply could have just reused the lines, the audio, the game score, maybe improved some of the game mechanics here and there, but kept it mostly faithful to Red Dead Redemption. And it would have been amazing as a remake. In fact, Rockstar just recently, a few months ago, announced that they were going to flip the bill for remakes to Max Payne 1 and 2 by Remedy. And that's what really grinds my gears as a Red Dead fan. Yes, I love Max Payne. I think it's a great franchise. But Rockstar's willing to pay for remakes for Max Payne 1 and 2 by Remedy, but they're not willing to put up their own money to remake one of their own iconic games that people have been asking and begging and pleading Rockstar for, especially after Red Dead Redemption 2 came out in 2018. It's ridiculous, and it just shows how cheap Rockstar and Take-Two is. They wouldn't even give it a proper remaster. No, we didn't want a remaster like they did with the GTA Trilogy Defective Edition, but there could have been a good quality remaster of Red Dead Redemption 1. But Rockstar and Take-Two didn't even want to do that because of how badly the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition went down. But most of that is their fault. For one thing, it wasn't done in-house at Rockstar Studios. It was done by Grove Street Games, a very small studio with about 24 employees. It was rushed out the door by Take-Two, because originally the expanded enhanced milk edition of GTA 5 for PS5 Xbox Series was supposed to come in November 2021, but it got delayed to March 2022. So in its place for the holiday sales, Take-Two rushed the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition out the door much sooner than it was ready. That is Take-Two and Rockstar's fault for the failure of the GTA Trilogy remaster. A successful remaster of Red Dead Redemption that was faithful would have been very well received by the Red Dead community, but unfortunately, we did not get that. What we got was just another simple port of Red Dead Redemption, which is only the main story of Red Dead Redemption, which obviously, as we pointed out in the pro section, does have a lot to offer. and Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, which I will be streaming coming soon this weekend. And after that, I'll do a review of Undead Nightmare port. But sadly, Red Dead Redemption multiplayer was gutted. And believe me, that is a crime because Red Dead Redemption multiplayer is actually a lot of fun. And I feel very bad for anybody that purchases Red Dead Redemption port for PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch because you are missing out on the multiplayer. Sadly, Red Dead Redemption deserved way more than just a simple port. But unfortunately, that's the best we got from Rockstar and Take-Two. But as they say, I guess it's better than nothing, I suppose. But it's definitely not worth $50, Strauss Zelnick. Maybe 40 or 30 bucks. But it's your money. If you have the money and you really want to play Red Dead Redemption on PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, go buy it. Or wait for the physical copies in October. Or wait for a future sale, a discount of the Red Dead Redemption port. Or better yet, if you happen to have a Xbox Series S or X, especially an Xbox Series X, just get the 360 version. It's backwards compatible. It's up there with the PS5 version of this game. Plus, you'll also get to experience Red Dead Redemption multiplayer as long as you have all the free packs. By the way, I did do a Red Dead Redemption multiplayer guide some time ago. Feel free and check it out if you have interest in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. Speaking of shameless self-plugs, I also did a video regarding if I was in charge of a Red Dead Redemption remake remaster some time ago. I will link that below in the description section as well for you to check out, along with my guides, Red Dead Redemption multiplayer, as well as Red Dead Online outside the map. In case you want to go check out Nuevo Preso yourself and see what work was being done on it before Rockstar abandoned Nuevo Preso and eventually Red Dead Online because they'd rather focus their attention on GTA 6. Once again, I tip my hat and give a golf clap to Double 11. Decent job with the port. Thank you for no major bugs, glitches, or game-breaking crashes. At least there's that. And for the record, I did enjoy my playthrough on stream and off stream of Red Dead Redemption, and looking forward to Undead Nightmare this weekend. Your thoughts, views, and opinions regarding the Red Dead Redemption port, as always, welcome below in the comments section.